How's it going, everyone? Adam here from Coding Basics, and welcome to tutorial number 7 in my Introduction to Python series. This video, we are going to be talking about functions. First off, defining functions, and then calling them and using them in PowerShell or Terminal if you're using Mac or Linux. Now, I've already created a Python file here called function.py. If you didn't watch my last video, I would recommend watching that. We go over creating and running Python files in the terminal. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, I'd recommend going to that video because I'm not going to go over that here. So, how you define a function. You type in the keyword def, D-E-F. After that, you type in the name of your function, and the text will turn pink. So, I'm going to create a function called print name. Now, one thing to note, you'll notice here it's blue. You can't use keywords that are already used by Python, such as print. So, name, print name, and open close brackets, and then a colon. That is how you define a function. Now, I'm going to quickly show you how not to put code in it. Now, other languages such as Java, you have open, close curly braces, and anything in between that is what happens when you call that function name. So you don't have to indent it. Indenting it's really just done to make your code look better and more readable. In Python, you do have to indent. So I'm just going to give you an example. I'm just going to call print hello. So, now when I go to run this file, I'm already in the folder where I saved this function.py file. If you haven't done that, do that now. I just did that before the video to save time. So, I'm going to run python function.py. Now, an error is going to pop up. Expected indent block. So even though other languages you don't have to do this, you do in Python. Now if we run this again, we are error free. So there you go. Everything that happens in here is what is inside the function. So everything that's indented. Now if I had one line that was indented, but the next line wasn't, that line is not going to be included in the function. So I could do print world sort of thing if I want to do another type of hello world program. But anything indented is what's included in the function. As long as there's like one line of code, anything that's not indented won't be included. Alright, now we're going to actually make a function here. So we're going to create a function. Oh, we already created it, but first we need to have some variables for the function to make use. So we're going to create a variable called first name. Set that equal to raw underscore input, and then inside brackets we will ask for their first name. Copy this line just to save time, and we're going to do the same thing with their last name. Alright, there we go. And now inside the function we are going to type print first name plus, we'll put a space between the first name and last name, and then we will display the last name. And that's all we want to do. Now, if you didn't watch the last video, you won't know what interaction mode is, but that will, oh, I guess I'll go over that quickly again in a second. So, when I just run python function.py, it'll ask for my first name, Adam, some random last name, and then it kicks me out, reaching back to the command line. It doesn't give me a chance to run my function. So if I want to use that function, this is a good example of when you have to use interaction mode. Now if I do it, random last name, and now I just call the function by saying print name, and it prints it out like we want it to. But another thing we're going to go over now is parameters. So I'm going to get rid of these two lines of code. And instead, we're going to pass in two parameters. So what are parameters? It's something you pass inside the brackets when you call a function, and they're meant to be used inside the function. So we're going to say first name, last name. There we go. And that, now instead of us asking for it, we will pass in names to this here, and then it will be printed out. So now back to PowerShell. We're going to quit out of this, run it again, and now we just say print name. Since we're using strings, remember your quotation marks, so comma separating the two parameters, random last name, and it does the exact same thing again. So that is how you use parameters. Next, we're going to move on to more of, I guess, a math use for this, using functions. So we're going to create a function, get rid of all this. We're going to define a new function called kilograms to pounds. Actually, no, it's pounds to kilograms. I keep getting the conversion confused. Pounds to kilograms. So we're going to call it that. And we'll put in this variable as a parameter called pounds, or at least the short form for pounds. Now, there is 2.2 pounds and 1 kilogram, roughly that, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the conversion. So what we're going to do is print to start out, and inside the string, because we're doing math, so we're going to use the string conversion, pounds times 2.2. Alright, now let's run this, quit out, clear, and now if we run it, so I called the variable pound to kilogram. And you have to call it exactly right, capitals, all that stuff. You have to call it the exact same. So, pound to kilogram, and now if I pass in, let's say 90 pounds, it'll print out 198. Yeah, I definitely got that conversion mixed up. Alright, we're going to leave it. It's the other way around. I always, okay, kilograms, there are less kilograms than pounds in the body. Yeah, so I did mess that up. Alright. Now, what if we wanted to save that as a variable? So we create a function that takes in an argument, does some sort of calculation for us, and then spits out the answer. So let's define a new function called calc insurance. So based on your age, that determines the, how bad your insurance is. The younger you are, the worse your age is, or the worse your insurance is, for the most part. So in this case, we're returning a value to be stored in a variable. So what we do is we type in the return keyword. Notice it'll turn blue. And we are returning the value. So let's just give like a base rate. So let's just say some company, your insurance is calculated by 1,000 divided by your age. So that's how much you pay for a month. Obviously that's not the case, but we're just going to go with that. So now we're going to run this program. And actually first, I'm going to run it without storing in a variable, just to show you can do it both ways. So calc insurance, and then in here we'll just say, well, I'm age 19, so I'd be paying $52 a month for insurance. I wish I'd have a car then if it was that cheap. So we're going to create a new variable called insurance, I guess. Yeah, why not? And we'll set that equal to this function. And now when we run it, we now have this variable called insurance with the exact same value in it. So that is how you return stuff. One thing I will say though, when a function returns some value, anything after that statement will not be run. Return ends the function. So if I do print, here's your insurance, then If I run it again just to show you, yeah, it won't print out anything. So all it did was give me the variable, didn't end up printing out the message that we wanted. Alright, so that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Remember to comment, like the video, and subscribe. It's going to help my channel get a bigger following. So I thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.